Islamism, everybody out there, praise Allah. Happy holy day. Happy holy day. Special holy day lecture. Special holy day lecture. We will be dealing with we'll be praising Allah on our holy day. Once again, always honoring the Prophet Drew Ali. We'll be looking at page number 2, the Suad family, breaking it down, seeing what's good. So stay tuned, stay with us. We will begin shortly in another 2 minutes. Calling line is open. If you want to make a comment, you want to just say praise Allah, call the call-in line at 712-432-0075. Your code 256220. Praise Allah, on the Holy Prophet Drew Ali. We will begin here right now. Alrighty. A little water. A little water. Praise Allah. Okay, everybody. Islamism. Praise Allah. Happy holy day. Happy Holy Day. Let me put some Happy Holy Day in here in this chat. How's everybody doing? All right, let's turn this little groove down. I don't know who this is. This is Cafe de Antolia, Oriental Touch, for all those that wanted to know who that was. So praise the Lord, we have a really good Holy Day lecture planned for you this evening. First and foremost, let's open up a prayer. Let's take a deep breath. Let it out. Please raise your wings up. Repeat after me the Moorish American prayer. Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation by night and by day. Through his holy prophet, Drew Ali. Amen. Islam. Burp or something right there. Praise Allah. So how's everybody doing out there? Make sure you have your tools with you. Okay. So this is a Holy Day lecture. We do, lectures on Tuesdays and Thursdays, although I missed the Thursday because I had some pressing business to take care of called life, things like that. But anyway, we're going to do a lecture this evening and deal with things. I've had a few requests on this, and I've searched, the internet, seeing if anyone else is out there really building on this. And then I began to go in deep memory, and I can't really recall somebody who dealt with page 2, Suad. Let's put a picture up here. Okay, this brother right here, right in our Holy Quran. Why is he there? Who is he? What's going on? And why hasn't anybody reached out to him? He's in our Quran, right? Or what's going on with it? Let us see what's going on and break it down and give a detailed analysis to the best of our ability to try to find out what's going on. Because people's mouths are shut. That's either two things. They don't know, or they're just not willing to say anything. I'm going to take the first part, that they don't know. Okay? So anyway, but that's just me. Could be that they know and they're just not really putting it out there. But like I said earlier, we're going to tackle that this evening, and let's see if we do a really good job. So make sure that you have your tools out, the Holy Quran, the Moorish Science Temple of America. You're going to need that. Okay? Of course, your divine constitution and bylaws. All right, and your Quran questionnaire for Moorish Americans. Okay, and if you happen to have that one that Pleasant Bay put out, known as the 102s, we can even kind of go over there and start looking at a little those. It's about that time, and make sure you have, your dictionary and a few other things handy if you want. All right, so let us open up with the last chapter in the Quran on page number 68. Actually, it's the first chapter from right to left. That's the way I see it. Okay. So we're going to go to the inner time and the fulfilling of the prophecies on page 67. Okay. And we're going to be dealing with, on page 68, actually, we're going to be looking at page 68. Right. And as usual, I'm going to set a little, I'm going to set the stage so that we can really understand what's going on. Okay. Because things are moving fast in the world, and the cares of the world are now, those waters have gotten really rough. Okay, a lot of storms on that water right there. And people are out here making choices. And sometimes the choices that we're making, right, could be refined with a more detailed understanding of those particular books, of our holy book, and the corpus of the prophet that's come for our salvation. Okay, so that's why we're going to look at that. All right, so if you're there, Okay, so we're going to start at verse 8, and then we're going to move, kind of rapidly, through a few things so I can lay the premise, and then we can delve deep down in it. All right. Okay, so on page number 68, verse 8, it says, while we, you know what? Let us start with verse number 7. It's always good to start with 7. But let's start with verse 7. It says, therefore, we are returning the church and Christianity back to the European nations. That's an S there, as it was prepared by their forefathers for their earthly salvation, period. While we, the Moorish Americans, are returning to Islam, which was founded by our forefathers for our earthly and divine salvation. Okay, so that particular verse is number 8 is very, very powerful, as are all the verses within this holy book. And when we get to dive, taking a deep dive, in what the prophet's saying here, we come back up, we're going to be, have a lot more appreciation and value for the things that's come for us, instead of just putting it to the side, reading it when it's convenient and things like that. Right? When you come to realize that Quran is your law, it has your genealogy, it has everything in there, right, to prove who you are and your vast estate, and it's pretty much like your deed. Okay. Although however, you have to be in the position to receive those birthrights under that. Okay. All right, so it says Islam, right? We are returning. Okay, so we're returning to something. All right, very important to understand the part. It says, which was founded. Now, here's a key word: founded by our forefathers. Okay, so when we hear Islam, right, we need to understand, right, we founded that, or our forefathers founded that. So it's really important that we comprehend that part. The prophet says, you don't recognize Islam because it's yours, right? But we need to recognize it today, right? And which we do, because we have enough time between the time that the prophet came and then he ascended to where we're at today, to see the value of certain things, to check his prophecies and all these particular things also, but to get a real good comprehension of Islam, right? So, but we are told here in our holy book that it was founded by our forefathers. So what is that saying in the practical, and looking at it practical today, right? Well, if it's founded by our forefathers, well, then there's a birthright there somewhere. Okay. Right. And it says for our forefathers, for our earthly and divine. So there's an earthly salvation and it is a divine salvation. I'm saying, that was something that was founded by our fathers. Now I say that to move on. Now I want you to keep that in mind, that founding. All right. That founding part is so important, that you understand what you did in civilization and what we are looking at today. I'm going to show next week, a lot of things why, people are in the situations they are, especially Europeans, I'm saying, why they're scrambling and scared and all these particular things, and they're putting up these particular fronts, right? And it's not bad, not fronts, but they're doing, some of them doing a very, good job to bring about the things that the Prophet Muhammad had ordered, in the country to bring about at a certain time. Although we need to look at the whole picture, right? So that we as Moorish Americans can have a rational understanding of what's going on and stop following the bandwagon emotional people who do nothing but, shout at the top of their lungs to try to get certain things across, right? All right, so let's turn to page 67 and verse 3. All right, so there's a part here. It says, let us start. I'm going to cut to I'm going to read the whole thing. All right, and stop at a certain part. All right, so verse number 3. All right, it says, in these modern days, let me go right here. It says, in these modern days, there came a forerunner who was divinely prepared by the great God Allah. And his name is Marcus Garvey, who did teach and warn the nations of the earth to prepare to meet the coming prophet, who was to bring the true and divine creed of Islam. And his name is Noble Drew Ali, who was prepared and sent to this earth by Allah to teach the old time religion and the everlasting gospels to the sons of men, and that every nation shall and must worship under its own vine and fig tree and return to their own and be one with their Father God Allah. Such a powerful commandment there, such a powerful statement, right? But the part I wanted us to look at, it was he was to bring back the true and divine creed of Islam. Okay, and then he gives also his name, Noble Drew Ali. People think, I shouldn't say that. I say a noble is a title. Okay, let's just cut the chase with it. Noble is a title. Drew is the family name. Ali is his ancient forefather's family name. Or Drew was the name acquired during slavery. Ali is the name that he got back from Allah, from our ancient forefathers. Okay, thus we're under the house of Ali. Why? Because no prophet, no Drew Ali, being the founder of our nation, being the founder of our state, bringing forth the Moorish Americans, bringing us that which was lost, right? We are under his house because he was the royal prince. We're going to get there. Okay. All right. So look at that part. Very important. Now let's go to, I'm trying to think, do I go to this part right now? All right. So let's deal with the subject matter, right? So let us open up your Quran questionnaire for Moorish Americans. Okay, and if you have that Quran questionnaire for Moorish Americans, we're going to be dealing with, let's see here, number 50, number 52, number 53, and number 54. Okay, and then we will be dealing with, and first we'll be dealing with number 31, 32, 33, 34, and 35. Okay, so let's deal with those first, and then let's move into the higher ones. Okay, so all right, so the reason I put, Ali, Khalifa, and we're going to define these particular terms, right, or emperor on the text message, right, is because a lot of people are on a misconception of what the prophet brought back in his political sphere, and what he was able to accomplish for us in the international scene, right? And bring us back to a particular place that pretty much sets us back as the capstone, right? When we, of course, get into our lessons and get our righteous mind back, right? So, but we have to look at this birthright, or we have to look at this particular, the overall parts the prophet brings for us. Okay, so this is so if you put somebody like the Suad, the founder of the Suad family, in our Quran in 1927, mind you, right? It's very important for us to understand why. Okay, so thus, if I say, the prophet's the emperor, prophet, emperor, Khalifa, you know what I'm saying? All these particular things, royal prince, right? People need to see the stations that he did, see the great work that he accomplished for us, so that they can have value in our birthright and begin to stand up and rule our government, rule our land according to the divine laws, right? Because law governs all events, and we have gotten back the divine law, not a sub chapter of a law, but the law, right? The foundation, because he said that we are the founders of Islam. Also, in a minute, we're going to go into being the founders of the holy city of Mecca. So let's look at this. Let's look at this. All right. So let us look at number 30. Let us look at number 30, number 31. It says, what is the modern name for Moabites? Right? Moroccans. Okay. And then I believe number 15, 13 or somewhere around there. My pages are kind of, oh, here it is right here. Right. He says number 14, why are we Moorish Americans? Because we are descendants of Moroccans and born in America. Okay. So when we're looking at this, we want to keep that in mind. All right. We want to keep that in mind. All right. So number 31. What are the modern name for the Moabites, Moroccans? Where is the Moroccan Empire? Okay. Northwest of Maxim. Let's go take a look at the Northwest. People still don't seem to understand what the Northwest is. I hope everybody can see that. Okay, this is the Northwest. Okay, we're looking at my little cursor here. Hope you guys can really see that. But it says right here, Pacific Northwest, right? It's just a map, right? But all of this, all of Canada, all of this in Canada, and what's up here, what they don't show you of, of Upper Canada, right? But all of this is the Northwest, right? So when the prophet makes the statement, where's the Moroccan Empire, northwest of Maxim? This first, let's get where the Northwest is before we deal with the Maxim. Northwest is what I'm showing you. Go to a map. It's always been near Northwest. Okay. Now he explains what a Maxim. He says, what is the modern name for a Maxim? Africa. So this was called Africa over here today. I mean, back during the times when the landmass was, there was more land in Atlantis and a few other particular things, right? But anyway, this is the Northwest, all right? And it says, where is the Moroccan Empire? Did it say the old Moroccan Empire? Did it say something coming? Did it say, where is the new coming Moroccan Empire? No, it said, where is the Moroccan Empire? You know what I'm saying? Where is the Moroccan Empire? Northwest of Maxim. All right. Did not put you in the past. He put you directly in the present with that statement. And to verify that, right, let's go quickly to chapter 47, right, on verse number 6. Okay, I'm gonna come back live now. Hope you guys, is everybody with me out there? Could you guys see that? Somebody put a little, I saw that or something in that chat. So if not, I want to bring this in a little bit closer because I have a lot of video things I want to show you. So somebody help me out and say that was a good picture. But I'm going to go on. All right. So to verify, it's one Islam. Huh? Put them ones up there. Somebody put them ones up in there. Give me some of them ones. You know what that means. Khalifa. All right. So to verify, right, that the prophet says that where's the Moroccan Empire, meaning right now and today, right? He says in verse 6, the Moabites from the land of Moab who received permission from the pharaohs of Egypt to settle and inhabit northwest Africa. Just showed you where northwest Africa is, the northwest, which was ancient Maxim, modernly known as Africa, but this has always been the northwest, Islamism. Okay, so he says northwest. They were. Now he gives you the past. Were the founders and the true possessors of the present. And he brings you all the way to the present Moroccan Empire. Of the present Moroccan Empire. Okay, if this is the present Moroccan Empire, you know what I'm saying? Quickly, when we look at this, I'm going to ask this question, then I'm going to come back to it. But then what type of constitution is this then? Okay, we'll come back to that. All right. But once again, he says, right, and are the true possessors of the present Moroccan Empire with their Canaanite, Hittite, Amorite brethren who sojourned from the lands of Canaan seeking home. Now he took you back, right? Made you do some research to figure out who the Canaanites that are, the Hittites, Amorites, and brethren, right? Who are they? But he tells you who they are, right? He tells you in chapter 45, right? But let's look at this though, right? So we got to remember that there's a current Moroccan Empire. I'm going somewhere with this, you guys, so just stick with me, all right? Okay. So number 30, hold on. All right, hold on. Okay, boom. Okay, so he goes in the Quran questionnaire for Moorish Americans. Number 32, where is the Moroccan Empire? Northwest of Maxim. Confirm the present Moroccan Empire, right? So we even know where it's at. What is the modern name for Mexam? Africa. What is the now? Pete Game, where he tells you this, right? But a lot of people miss it because the language and their grammar, all right? So number 34 says, what is the title given to our ruler in Morocco, right? And a lot of people took that as like some dude in Morocco is our ruler over us, but that's not how the grammar said. Our ruler in Morocco, okay? What is the, listen to it. What is the title given to our ruler? You know what I'm saying? In Morocco. One who we put up there or who put there. Doesn't mean this dude's ruling over you. That's not what it says. And the reason is, how do we know that though, Jones Bag? Because you could be playing semantics. You could be playing little, inflections of the voice in your timbre. What I'm not, you know what I'm saying? But it's the title given to our ruler. No, it's actually, just our ruler, meaning one we put in place. Why? And here it is. And what is it? Sultan. Okay, Sultan. All right. Now let's look at this. Let's look at this. Let's go to Sultan. I think I have that up for you guys. Let's go to Sultan. What is a Sultan? Okay. So when we're looking at Sultan, right? And I went to Wikipedia. I could have went to, Oxford International, one, but I didn't. Should have, but I didn't. But anyway, Wikipedia did a pretty good job on this. So let's look at it. It says a Sultan, right? Pronounced is a position with several historical meanings. Originally, it was an Arabic abstract noun meaning strength, authority, rulership. All right, derived from the verbal noun sultan or sulta, meaning authority or power. Later, it came, to be used as the title of certain rulers who claim almost full sovereignty in practical terms, i.e., the lack of the lack of dependence on any other ruler. That means the sovereign, right? And then it also says, I'll bet without claiming the overall caliphate, okay, or to refer to a powerful governor of a province within a caliphate. In other words, a sultan's like a king of the king of kings. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's what he is. But he is not like, this ultimate ruler. That would go to what is known as the caliphate, or not the caliphate, but the Caliph, right? And if you really look at that word, it sounds like California. But anyway, we'll get to there a little bit later because we are nowhere there for me to prove to you yet that seat of power. That seat of power was in California, or what is known as Mexico. All right. So anyway, so the caliphate, Arabic, right, are the caliph, which I'm going to go back to because I had a much better definition right over here. Okay. So anyway, a caliphate is a state under the leadership of an Islamic steward with the title of caliph, a person considered a religious successor to the Islamic prophet Muhammad. Now, you got to peep game on this part, because if you don't, the prophet gives us everything, especially in the Quran questionnaire for Moorish Americans. All right. So if I just made that clue, so people should be kind of connecting some clues if you study it, your Quran questionnaire for Moorish Americans. All right. So let's read it one more time. A caliphate is a state under the leadership, is a state, we're going to get there, under the leadership of an Islamic steward with the title caliph, a person considered a religious successor to the Islamic prophet Muhammad and a leader of the entire community, which means all of the states, all of the kingdoms, all of the everything, all of the king of kings, you know what I'm saying? All these particular things, right? All of the sultans, in other words, the king of kings, which sometimes is known as the sultans, right? All right. So let's remember that part, all right? Because that is what Prophet Drew Ali represented in that capacity. And the reason I can say that is this. It says is a successor to the Islamic prophet Muhammad. Please turn to your Quran questionnaire for Moorish American and tell me, right, who was the first person who Jesus reincarnated as, right? Prophet Muhammad. Who does our prophet tell us he is today? Jesus returned. Okay. Now, thus, he even said, Prophet Drew Ali, I'm 5 times more stronger than I was once before. Now, this is a very deep science that we will get into is the whole reincarnation understanding, but it's not that hard for us who've done a little bit of study. I mean, just studying of melanin alone should let you know that you have a particular you have like a particular substance that transcends, it's light. It's literally light wrapped around you, right? And it can be activated, and it can be diminished. Right now, we're kind of in a diminished state. But Jesus showed where can take us up to a fully incapacitated state of going for the borderlands at will. But that's for another time. I've kind of digressed. Let me get back to you a little bit, right? I couldn't even see you. All right, so let's turn to that part in our Quran questionnaires for Moorish Americans real quick. Okay, so that's on number 81. What is the name of the person into whom Jesus was first reincarnated? Prophet Muhammad. Some of it says the conqueror. Okay, and then it goes on to say, right? It goes on a little bit more. Kind of go to number 32, number 84. By whom? It goes. When was the head of Satan taken off? In number 83. 1453 Byzantine, right? And by whom? By Muhammad, right? The second. Now, some people believe that's Muhammad the Conqueror, okay? And Prophet Muhammad had a lot of wars, and he conquered, Jack. You know what I mean? He did his particular thing. So let us go look at this real quick, though, right? Because it's so important that we understand a Khalifa or somebody's successor to Prophet Muhammad. Now, this Khalifa and all this set up the Caliphate, which was that great Moroccan empire, right? That was once spoken on. And that is now in our holy book, which we are heirs to. All right. And you got to know this. Okay. So, right. And we're going to get to how we're heirs. We kind of looked at it last week. Right. But it's still there. Okay. Because the Prophet Noble Drew Ali is telling you, he's giving you major clues. Right. He's saying what we just read, where is it real quick? I thought I had it on memory. Number 31. What was the modern name for the Moabites, Moroccans? And then he tells you about the Moroccan Empire in northwest of Mexico. And he tells you we set up a sultan. All right. Number 34. Right. So he says, what is the title given to our ruler in Morocco? Sultan. All right. Just trying to keep us kind of all in that flow. All right. So let's go look at that. All right. And so we verified it in chapter 47, where we have the current Moroccan Empire. Now let's go look at the Sultan. Let's go look at the Sultan that the prophet set up. But let's even look at him in a twofold light, because you got to peep him out, right? So let's look at this one more time too in our Quran questionnaire for Moorish American, when the prophet asks, who's protecting the holy city of Mecca? Right? So the reason why we want to ask that question, because he also tells us that we are the founders of the holy city of Mecca. And where is that? Where did he put that? Present. Oh yeah, it's on. It is in. It's on page number 64 on chapter 45. That's turn to that chapter, because that's where we're going next. Chapter 45 in the Holy Quran, the Moorish Science Temple of America. And then we're going to go see the Sultan, right? The Sultan, right? That we put our ruler In other words, we put him up in there, not the one, ruling over you. All right, so let us look at something real quick. All right, so on number 53, very important to understand this one. It says, where's the Garden of Eden in the land of Canaan in the holy city of Mecca? What is the modern name of the Garden of Eden? Mecca. We have to really understand that Mecca. We got to really understand what he's saying there. We'll get there a little bit later. So let's deal with the Northeast and let's go look at this Sultan. I kind of laid the groundwork so we can go look at this right here, right? So let us, let's see. We don't need that no more. Let's put that on pause. All right, so we looked at the Sultan. Let's look at an emperor real quick, all right? So we can get a good understanding of what an emperor is. All right, I don't like when it goes over there. I like this page right here. All right, so it says an emperor is a monarch and usually the sovereign ruler of an empire or another type of imperial realm. And then there's an empresses, the female equivalent. Many indicate emperor's wives, okay? All right, so we understand that an emperor is one over the empire, right? Like the Empire Strikes Back. Yeah, that's right. We're coming back. All right. So let us move on real quick here. Just trying to make my points. Okay. All right. So let's keep that number 34 in mind. That what is the title given to our ruler in Morocco? Right. All right. And it's Sultan. Okay. And we can look at that today too. Right. But let's go to chapter 45 and look at some modern things, because what does an emperor have to have under empire have to have, right? I had it here somewhere and I didn't find it. But an empire, right, actually has to have, I thought I had it here for you. An empire has to have states. Let me just cut to the chase real quick. But an empire has to have states under it, or what is known as kingdoms, or things like that, nations, villages back in the day. But today, an empire would enfold protect states, nations. Kingdoms. This would be all up under an empire, okay? And thus, the emperor rules over that, and really looking at the way it's kind of being set up today, the Caliph would rule over everything else of that. But anyway, we'll get there in a second. So, but an emperor rules over nations, like I said, and kingdoms. Okay. Now let's go see if Noble Drew Ali fits these particular attributes and the Moorish Science Temple of America. Okay, and Moorish Americans, right? Do we have a play up in there? Oh, do we ever? You know what I mean? Well, let's look at it from the prophet's point of view, right? So 45, we already know there's a current Moroccan empire, but where is it? Where is it, Brother Jones Bay? Where's the current Moroccan empire? Right here, chapter 45. It says divine origin of the Asiatic nations. Now, origin means something new. Are new nations, right? And so divine origin of the Asiatic nations. All right. So take a look at that. That should let you know right there. There's a few nations here. Okay. Let's go to number 2. Okay. Yeah, let's just go to number 2. It says the key of civilization was, okay, where was that? Was that old ancient Moroccan empire, right? And is, which means now, in the hands of the Asiatic nations, right, comma, then he says the Moorish. Look how he makes distinctions here, everybody, because there's bloodline, birthrights, and the prophet doesn't miss a beat, right? So look at this. He says the Moorish, comma, who were the ancient Moabites, comma, the founders of the holy city of Mecca. Well, don't forget what it said, right? In the last chapter on page 68, we're returning to Islam, right? which was founded by our forefathers. Islam was founded by our forefathers. And now the prophet's also telling us that the holy city of Mecca was also founded, you know what I'm saying, by the ancient Moabites. And then we know we have the tie to the ancient Moabites, you know what I'm saying? In Acts 6, and the prophet straight tells us what we just read. What is the modern name for the ancient Moabites, right? Moroccans, all right? So that's another name for Moorish, or, you know, it's another term for Moorish, all right? So we're looking at, this is so important that you understand this part right here, because you have a birthright, and thus, do you hear your birthright? I'm going to tie it in, so I'm going to tie it in for you tonight. Who brought this to my attention to a lot was Brother Adam Jam. He was building on this particular part and dealing with the saw, and he had brought up a particular part, right? And we began to really kind of just unmantle it, right? But I had a piece a while that, you know, we know that the saw is there for a reason, okay? And I did my side research, just a little something off real quick, right? Is that people are holding on to our particular things until you wake up. And I'm going to show and prove that here in a second. All right. So it says Moors, who were the ancient Moabites. And so anyway, it's found to my brother Adams L, right? Honors for this bill too, that, you know, we're on. So because we were the ancient Moabites and the founders of the holy city of Mecca. All right. So that's birthrights for Moorish Americans. If you're the founder of something, remember that. All right. Then it goes on. Right. Let's go down to number 7. No, let's go to number 3. It says the Egyptians, who were the Hammatites and of a direct descendant of Mizraim. Now, this part right here, listen to this. The Arabians, the seed of Hagar, comma, Japanese and Chinese. Okay. But look at that. The Arabians, comma, the seed of Hagar. Okay. Let's move on down to number 7. It says the Turks are the true descendants. What's my time like, y'all? I'm doing okay. It says the Turks are the true descendants of Hagar. Let's move back up here real quick to 3. The Arabians, the seeds of Hagar. Let's go back to 7. The Turks are the true descendants of Hagar. You hear it? Did you hear it? Let's go back up. Number 3. Arabians, the seed of Hagar, Japanese and Chinese. Number 7, the Turks are the true descendants of Hagar, who are the chief protectors of the Islamic creed of Mecca. Who do you think put them in place for all that? You were just told that you were the founders of Mecca, the founders of Islam. He said he's bringing you back Islam. You know what comes with Islam for us? The founding of Mecca, the Kaaba, Ba, Bay, Ka, house. Etymology, peep game. So we set up some protectors out of the descendants of Hagar. Let's go look at these chief protectors. The Turks, oh, sounds like a few of my brothers, are the true descendants of Hagar, who are the chief protectors of the Islamic creed of Mecca, beginning from Muhammad the first. Now, if he makes a distinction of the first, there has to be somewhere a second. Keep that in mind for later stuff. But anyway, beginning from Muhammad the first, the founder of the Uniting of Islam by the command of the great universal God Allah. Let's go back up real quick. The Turks are the true descendants of Hagar. All right, now. Let's go to page number 2. And let's deal with this, bruh. You know what I'm saying? Let's deal with this, bruh. Let me get a little water, man. I've been bumping gums right over here. Mouth got a little dry. But my gum bumping is right. I don't just bump gums just to be bumping. I'm going to change that term. Okay, so anyway. All right, so let's look at this. Let's look at this. The premise has been laid. Now we should be eased right on into this so we can see our birthrights, and let's get on with acting like and stop acting like we broke. Let's stop acting like we don't have a mission to do and to really start claiming what's rightfully ours. All right. So on page number 2, we see Sultan. Now, a sultan, like I said before, answers to a Caliph or the emperor. A sultan can only be set in place by an emperor, especially back up under our Islamic rule of the empire. But anyway, Sultan Abdul Izzi ibn Saud, the descendant of Hagar, now the head of the holy city of Mecca. Now, who are protecting the holy city of Mecca to keep the unbelievers away? I'm going to tell you the person who the emperor put in place. Now, if you, oh, wow, I'm going to have to do this thing for you. Maybe you can see it. Maybe you can see it. Just bear with me. Can you see that? I don't know. Can y'all see that? Maybe I'm messing it up. I think I got it all messed up. All right, there's a little piece of it. All right, so the prophet's standing over, bruh. And if you really, if I can show it to you a little better, right? But his mouth, his hand is over the sultan's mouth. He's standing up. The sultan's grabbing 3 fingers. That means he's bound by an oath. All right, my bad with the crude display. But I didn't have any other picture of that like that. I mean, I can see, so the prophet standing up like that, bruh sitting down like this. And when you superimpose light behind it, right from the prophet's point of view, the prophet is covering his mouth. He's standing above him, bruh. And if you look at it very carefully here, you will see the sultan that he's holding 1, 2, 3 fingers. Okay? So the sultan, although a master, is still bound. And he's bound as a sultan. All right? And to whom is he bound to? To whom is he bound to? He's in your Quran by your holy prophet, who is the last known emperor. Now let's go look at that part. All right, so the last known emperor back in the day, right before this person took over, and before 1925, when the holy prophet stood up and declared his prophethood and everything, right? Okay, and before 1927, before it's put in here, right? The last known emperor was Sharif Hussein, or King Hussein ibn Ali, or where he wasn't really he wasn't really the emperor, because that's a title as we do use it, right? But we use Khalifa or Caliph, right? And he really couldn't claim that, but he could claim the emir of Mecca and king of the Arabs, right? Right. So this cat right here. Now look at this. Look at this. Medina. Now look. I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read it. Right. Emir of Mecca. Now emir, real quick. An emir means. An emir sometimes translates emir or mir as an aristocratic noble and in a military, high-ranking military. Right. A high king. Another word for king of kings. Right. And it was really the emir was the king of king and not the sultan. So I was a little wrong when I said the sultan being a king of king. The sultan was more or less the ruler over like 4 or 5 land areas. You dig what I'm saying? And then you had the emir, right, who was more like the king of the kings. And then you had the Caliph. All right. So hope this makes sense. Hope I'm making sense, everybody. All right. So anyway, King Hussein, let's go back to this dude. All right. So this man right here is who the prophet met. Now, if you were able to look below his his turban, like they are in today, the shahs and all the people who claim to have power and ruler and authority over there, right? There's a fez under here, you guys. That's why it's that big and wide, because he's actually got a fez under there. You can really kind of see it. Let me see if I can blow this up. All right, do you see it right there? Can everybody see that? Uh, can y'all see that? Give me a one if you can see it. All right, I'm gonna go back to it. But do you see that fez? All right. Anyway, that's a bruh and a fez. So this was the last emir, excuse me, the last emir of Mecca, or the king of the Arabs, or over Medina and all that. And let me go down so I can read it to you. All right. So it says Emir of Mecca and king of the Arabs. He was the last of the Hashemite Sharifians that ruled over Mecca, Medina, and the Hijaz in an unbroken succession from 1201 to 1925. What happened in 1925, y'all? I just told you. The founding of the Moorish Holy Temple of Science, the prophet stood up and declared his prophethood. Prior to that, he had a meeting with this dude right here. Okay? And got back the charters, got back the whole shot. Now, the reason I say this is I'm going to go there. I'm going to show you why. Sharif Hussein, 1916, look at this. Sharif Hussein is best known for launching the Great Arab Revolt in June 1916. What else happened in 1916? The Moorish Divine National Movement was founded. This revolt popped off. After the prophet did what he did and stepped up on the scene, this revolt popped out. The communist revolt popped out because the prophet was back. Don't you understand? Jesus returned. And then the Great War happened. All right, but anyway, look at this. Arab Revolt, 1916, against the Ottoman army during the First World War. The Turkish-dominated Ottoman Empire, Turkish-dominated Ottoman Empire sided with Central Powers against the Allies, allowing the Emir of Mecca to seize the opportunity to liberate the Arabs' lands from the Turkish rule by allying himself with the British and the French, some more weird stuff. Right. So, but anyway, my point is that this was the last emir of the empire. The last known real big ruler. Now, if you want to go back to the last emperor, you got to go back quite a few. All right. And the reason I say this is because the connection that his succession is very important for you to understand. All right. His succession was supposed to have been like in the bloodline of Muhammad and all this. And that ended in 1925. Why? Because the prophet stood up 100%. Why? Because he told you this is the current Moroccan empire. I just proved it to you. You are the ancient Moroccan, right? And he's giving you back your empire. Well, can you got any more evidence to prove that, Brother Jones Bay? I mean, what more evidence? Because this is some circumstantial stuff. I see 1925. I see you trying to make a little connection there. But do we have any more hardcore evidence? Well, yes. Once again, we'll go back to this brother. Okay? We'll go back to him. Because when this dude, right, went into exile in 25 and began his little revolt thing, and he died in 31, right? It was this brother, okay, who took over. Now, he took over there, but he was a sultan. And the emperor standing above him let you know the prophet and the founder of the Moorish Temple of America to redeem the people, the noun, from their sinful ways. Right? And then we have to understand the descendant of Hagar, now the head of the holy city of Mecca, when we were just known that we are the founders of the holy city of Mecca and the founders of Islam. And then we look at this man right here. So let's go take a look at this dude, this Sultan Abdul Izzi ibn Saud. Who is this cat? Right? So I'm going to blow this up. And we're going to look at him for just a quick moment. Is everybody still with me? Let me go back. So I don't know if y'all with me. Make sure y'all with me. You put a little love. Like a couple people didn't dropped off. It's okay. It's all right. It's not for everybody. All right, I'm gonna put a little love in this chat, and I'm gonna move on. Anyway, it's long. All right, let's go look at this. Let's go look at our brother, the Saud. the descendant of Hagar, Turk, you know what I'm saying, protector of the Islamic creed. Let's go look at him. Come on, thingy thing.
They are so powerful. They have a country named after them. They are the Saud family of Saudi Arabia.
I'm a Saudi. A Saudi is she is a Saudi means you belong to that family.
Saudi Arabia is a dictatorship managed by a democracy. We're really talking about a core group of maybe 15 to 30 princes that are really controlling the final decision on everything.
A kingdom the size of Western Europe, with a quarter of the world's known oil deposits, riches that could tip the balance of global history, but with an increasingly radical populace and a resource that won't last
Man, these
forever.
Europeans always want to make it radical.
Setting on the House of Saud.
A remarkable family in this held on fairly fragile country.
They all know their survival depends upon staying together and staying in power.
Listen to this jealous cat. This is not the one I wanted to show everybody either. Darn it. There's actually a way better one, and I thought that was it. But it's a documentary. I think it's 2020 did it, and I thought that was it. But anyway, it goes into deep detail on the Saud family. You should go check that out. Okay. And a little detail on the Saud family. Let's go look at a few things though, real quick. Here we go. Let's go look at this. Let me see something. Just give me 1 second. I want to get you to the bruh himself so you can see this cat. The brother was no joke, okay? And he was a brother. All right. And they don't do this one. I have, oh, here you go. I think that's him right there. Yeah. Just give me 1 second, you guys. I'm trying to show, let me show this part.
With the help of the puritanical Wahhabist holy warriors, the Saud clan conquered land throughout the Arabian Peninsula. In 1924, 5 generations later, Abdulaziz bin Rahman Al Saud, also known.
This is him. This is the bruh in the Quran. Okay.
Known as Ibn Saud, finally took over the holiest sites in.
So did you hear it? He's also known as Ibn Saud. That is what's in our book. Okay. Ibn Saud. All right, let's move on.
Islam, Mecca, and Medina.
Let's go back a little, just a little.
Holy warriors, the Saud clan conquered land throughout the Arabian Peninsula. In 1924, 5 generations later, Abdulaziz bin Rahman Al Saud, also known as Ibn Saud, finally took over the holiest sites in Islam, Mecca, and Medina.
That's right.
Ibn Saud is often seen as an Arabian Lawrence of Arabia, but he was better than Lawrence because he actually fought.
Very tall, very big, had a lot of charisma and a lot of guts. I mean, he did a lot of, attacks in the middle of the night, completely desperate type of military attacks of other positions, which no one would have done. I mean, he was the man.
He was a sultan. A sultan means a military leader.
He united
a noble military leader.
Tribes through both violence and intricate alliances.
Talking around the campfires, the Bedouin liked to joke about Ibn Saud. They said he's got 2 swords, the sword of steel, the one with which he conquered, and the sword of flesh, which he used once he conquered, and would marry the chief daughters of the tribe that he conquered, and thus bring
look at the brothers. Look at that brother
into the union of the Saudi family.
In 1932, he proclaimed this conglomeration of tribes between the Red Sea and the Persian Gulf his family's kingdom, Saudi Arabia, the Arabia of the Sauds. The patriarch and his 45 sons would rule into the next century in
Okay.
partnership with his
I'm gonna
religious
put that on
allies.
pause.
Wahhabi clerics were given wide control of the educational and legal.
I'm gonna put that on pause real quick. Give me 1 second.
CRTV is the most.
All right. And come on back here. Okay, so I showed that, to show you who he is in kind of real life, because he's in our book, and a lot of people don't, really go look at him, right? In the time of the prophet, that was 24. You see what I'm saying? So the prophet, had already met this man. Okay, put him in a particular place as a sultan, which means a noble military leader. The dude went up there and conquered Mecca. Why? Because who's the founders of Mecca, right? So he sent somebody up in there to conquer Mecca, right? The prophet's he was a strategic genius. He told you who he was, Muhammad the Conqueror, right? So he sent the bruh up in there, put him up in there. King Hussein, the last emperor, right, sent him on a little misdirection revolt and sent him to the Eye of the Creek. His son, this dude's son, right here, ends up coming in 1930 or 1929, somewhere around there, 1930, 1920, looking for the prophet Drew Ali, and gets caught in Ohio airport with a gun from the Riff rifle, right? And they arrest him, like, why you got this gun? He's like, I'm at the Riff rifle and I'm a noble. What do you want? And he tells them who he is. And they said, well, what are you doing here? And then he straight says, I'm looking for, the Moorish Holy Temple of Science and, Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Okay, and it's reported in the Ohio paper. I had that clip. I put a little piece of it in a booklet, but I'm looking for it so I can show everybody, right? But so what do we have, right? So we have this brother, okay? So we have the Sultan, who is a descendant of Hagar, where the prophet Drew Ali says is the current Moroccan empire. Now we got us a sultan. Do we have some nation states? Is there any kingdoms out there? Do we anything under the empire that can solidify it more like an empire? I see a sultan. Now we see a sultan. He was doing the job of a sultan, which is a military noble leader. You know what I'm saying? Out there getting it on, right? And now the richest family on the planet. They are the richest family on the planet. And he's in your Quran. And I'm telling you, the prophet put him there, right, to protect the holy city of Mecca until the founders' children wake up. Right? Okay. So are there any kingdoms? Yes. Let's go to page 3 at the bottom. Okay. It says the industrious acts of the Muslims of Northwest and Southwest Africa. Remember, we took you to the Northwest, right? Showed you guys the Northwest. Okay, this is the Northwest. And obviously the Southwest is down there, which would be in South America. Okay. And Africa, which we know is the Maxim, and which we know, why do we know this is Africa today? Because I just showed you Northwest and we know the prophet said, well, that's Africa. So today, when he says Africa too, he's talking about, saying Northwest, which then goes to this part in the Quran, right, where it says that life and the works of Jesus in India, Europe, and Africa, in the land of Egypt. I'm telling you that Africa is America, and Jesus was right here in the Americas. Okay, for real, he was right here in the Americas. And we can even go a little bit further to see that, right? Because we just pinpointed where the Northwest was. And then the prophet also says that they asked, that the ancient Moabites, right, asked for permission to inhabit Northwest. You know what I'm saying? It's very important, to look at these parts. We can tell you where Egypt was and all of this. So let's go back a little bit here. Okay, so it says on page 3, looking at some of the kingdoms of the empire, it says the industrious acts of the Muslims of Northwest and Southwest Africa. These are the Moabites, Hamathites, and Canaanites who were driven out of the land of Canaan by Joshua and received permission from the pharaohs of Egypt to settle in that portion of Egypt. In later years, they formed themselves kingdoms. These kingdoms are called this day, Morocco, Algiers, Tunis, and Tripoli. All right. So, what's so important about Tripoli or Morocco, Algiers, and Tunis? Well, these are under ours. These are our part of our kingdoms under our empire, the current Moroccan Empire. And they're waiting for the children once again to wake up. This is why you hear about the great Islamic State on the rise. This is why you hear about Trump talk about nationalism, because it was cracking. You know, a few of us is awake, and people think it's a joke. This is not no joke and unreal. Why? Because the prophet got us back the mandate. All right, when Prophet Noble Drew Ali went to Havana, Cuba in 1928, and they gave him the mandate back, right, to the Americas. Well, you know, what is that? What do you mean the mandate? People, you know, think that that's a myth. We actually, I showed you guys before, and I'll show you again maybe a later time, but we have the shipping manifest where the prophet was coming back from Havana, Cuba at that direct meeting. And so what is the mandate? Where's our empire? Empire's got to have some land. Well, we're now seeing the kingdoms, right? But we got to have, if we are, that means we have to have a sovereign state. If there was an emperor, if there was a prophet, or these particular things, if there's a nation like he calls us a nation on many, you know, all throughout the book. He calls us a nation. Okay. Chapter 47, page 67. The time has come that every nation must worship on its own vine tree. It says, through sin and disobedience, every nation has suffered slavery. That's why the nationality of the Moors was taken away from them. And it goes on and on and on. I mean, it calls us a nation, right? So where is it? Right? We see in the kingdoms, Morocco, Algiers, Tunis, Tripoli, right? But where is our empire in our vast estate? I just showed you northwest of Mexico. Like the prophet said, northwest of Mexico. Okay, known today as Africa or America from Amaruca, right? Which was the gate god Amen, okay, down in South America. All right, that's where America came from, not America Vespucci and all this old weird stuff. No, man. All right, but anyway, back to, you know, that's ancient Moabite science. We go to ancient Moabites who are really the Olmecs. Okay, we'll get into there. You know, the 17 and 15-foot giants who were creating people. You know what I'm saying? These were all genetic mastermind manipulating the gene pool back in the day. We'll get there. Okay, I'm not trying to push that stuff, but let's deal with the Saud family once again, right? So we're looking at, you know, we have a vast estate, right? And then in that vast estate, this empire, we saw in chapter 45 that the origins of the new Asiatic nations are the origins, right? And the Moorish Americans, the Mexicans, El Salvadorians, all these are nations down there now in Central America. Okay, so there's another section of the new nation empire. And then he tells you about the old ones that are still here today: Morocco, Algiers, Tunis, and Tripoli. Well, how does these things fit with us? Well, let's go look at the Treaty of Tripoli. All right. It says the Treaty of Tripoli, of peace and friendship between the United States of America and the Bey, B-E-Y. Right, let's blow that up so people can see it. Uh-oh, I went a little too far, didn't I? All right, here we go. All right, so I hope you guys can see that. All right, so the Treaty of Tripoli, treaty of peace and friendship between the United States of America and the Bey and subjects of Tripoli of the Barbary. Now, the Barbary went all the way from Mexico, from the shores of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli. Montezuma's down in Mexico. Why is the Marine singing that? Right? If our empire didn't stretch from Mexico all the way to Tripoli. All right. So here we go. The Treaty of Tripoli of peace and friendship between the United States of America and the Bey and the subjects of Tripoli of Barbary, signed in 1796, was the first treaty between the United States of America and Tripoli, now Libya. And you wonder why, when that situation was happening with Libya, Where is that picture? Where is that picture with that old wicked looking lady, Hillary Clinton, with our flags in the State Department room? Who remembers that, you guys? All right. All right. So Hillary Clinton was in the State Department with our flags behind her. I'll pop it up one day, right, and try to find it for you, right? But she was in the State Department, and they had our flags, and they were in a conflict with Libya. And then she popped our flag out in the Benjamin Freedom Franklin room. And then Libya and that whole area over there calmed down for the next 10 years until the other stuff happened. I mean, for the next few years. We got to piece this together, you guys. She flashed our flag, the one you got in your Moorish Science Temple of America today. But a lot of people don't understand it because they're not looking at what the prophet did. They're out there trying to do everything else but what the prophet brought you. He brought you your kingdom back. He brought you a sultan, told you that, put you a sultan up, protected the holy city of Mecca, right? Put a sultan up in there, the descendant of Hagar, right? Told you this is the current Moroccan Empire, which the sultan is under. Then told you who the emperor was, and then puts you as an heir to that. And these people are the richest people on the planet right now. But a lot of people think this is joking unreal, though. They don't want to go out here and claim their free national name in front of the governments in which they live or the nations of the earth. Are you out your mind? You just going to give away your birthright? How anybody going to know you if you don't properly claim it? And proclaim it first, because the first order of law is to open up your mouth and tell somebody there's something wrong. Oh, we did that in the temple. How people know you did that in the temple? How they know? So anyway, back to the lesson. I digressed. My bad, guys. You know, because it's so serious. People are missing it, and they gonna miss it right on by. You know, but it's okay, I guess. So anyway, so once again, we're looking at page 2. The Sultan Abdullah Izzi ibn Saud, the descendant of Hagar, now the head of the holy city of Mecca, and him and his family been there. The bro was so cold. This dude was so cold that he went in there, conquered Medina and Mecca, and then married all the tribal chiefs' first daughters, 40-something of them. Man had 40-something royal kids. And if you go and look at them, boy, they look as dark as me. Some of them look as, I kid you not, they look as olive hued as me. You know what I mean? Got that nice little shine. So we need to wake up. You know what I'm saying? The other side of the family is like, man, when y'all gonna wake up, man? They're like, they over there like, leave with y'all hurry up. And we over here like, man, we trying to tell them. Every time we look around, we get in opposition. Somebody got knives. Anyway, so what this is an empirical constitution. That's why he made this statement. This organization, the Moorish Science Temple of America, is not to cause any confusion or overthrow the laws of the Constitution of the said government, but to obey hereby. This organization of the Moorish Science Temple of America is not to cause any confusion or to overthrow the laws of the Constitution of the said government, but to obey hereby. That one ties in with our United States government too, right? But you guys got to really look at that. I'm not going to go into that one right now. I should, but I'm not. All right, but because I want to concentrate on the prophet being the prophet, a Khalifa, a royal prince, all these particular things for us. And, I can go over this stuff and give you even more detail. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I can give you so much detail, but it's still up to you. It means it's just another academic thought process if you don't go exercise these things. And praise Allah, I got a beautiful phone call this morning. There are people out there doing it, in court, knowing that the seriousness of it and getting their procedure done. So I give you all honor, sisters and brothers that called me this morning, called me this week. Praise Allah, because you are the heirs that are needed so that we can help to run our current Moroccan empire by first and foremost learning how to run our own government here, which is a reflection right there in your temples within your own family, Okay, so this is an empirical constitution because we can have a Moorish Science Temple of America go all the way into Chile and still remain a part of the one temple, but keep its district uh, sovereign rights. And then a district, if you go look it up, why do I say this is a district? Because the Prophet Noble Drew Ali in the first Moorish guide, if you go get it, and maybe I'll pull it out next lecture, right, said that these are district temples. He was the editor, and it was in there that these district temples were taking care of this. When you go look up district, it's like the districts of Columbia. Look what they've done to you. All right, Washington, D.C. So just imagine what you can do. All right, the voting just happened. Has any of your sheiks out there and anybody out there are teaching the Moors how to block vote? Oh, but that's right, you can't even block vote if you can't identify yourself. You know, we could be putting 4 people in the Congress at once right now. It's called block voting. All right, straight up, yo. But if you can't identify yourself, you know, then there's nobody in there for us to go push somebody to represent. You know, he has to have at least, at least needs to be at least 500 people to 1,000. Although, you know, it's getting there. So, you know, just think about these particular things. That's kind of, you know, nearing the ending of the lecture a little bit. It's 8:42, so I don't want to drag it out too much on the holy day, right? So, assalamu alaikum to my brothers out there. Islam, let me send some shout outs out there. Islam, Sister Sand, Foster Bay, want to give you a shout out. Islam and some love, sis. Hope you're feeling better. You know, want to say Islam to Cheryl Hopkins. Islam, Islam, Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum assalam. Praise Allah. I think this is the mode we speaking the real good Arabic. Need to holler at you, Mo. Islam, brother Amin L. Jones Bay. Praise Allah. That's one of the shiny ones. That's one of those Moors. Talk to that, Mo. Islamism. I want to holler out to Sister Carmen Pamplin Bay. Islam. That's that sister, the smart ones, them sisters. They back. They're doing their part and they're doing it, y'all. You know, and just want to send a mad shout out to them because they've been here for a long time and getting the job done too. And to all those who are with you 5+ listening, I want to say Islam to y'all. Praise Allah. Make sure you listen to what the sister's saying. Go get the work done because this is your birthright too. You know what I mean? We need some of the young Moors to get this right so they can tell even the younger ones, right? Because you got a mad birthright. All right. And the Saud family is waiting on you. We're going to show and prove it because we're going to be there in a minute. Only a few of us, because taking all y'all with me, boy, I tell you, maybe a crappy storm. Let me give a big shout out to my brother, Harold Harster, the Bay, the third one to go through from the tippity top. I was the first, Alex L. second, brother Harold Harster, the third Bay. You know what I'm saying? Islam, Mo, always there, very faithful Mobite. I want to tell you, Mo, honor you, Mo, for always being there and got much love for you, Mo. Hang on, hang tough, Mo. We're almost through. All right, so I want to give another shout out to brother Ali Bay, Islam and the family of the sis. Islam, much love for y'all. Y'all been on it, working. All I can say is I got mad love for y'all. Man, I love for everybody that's listening in on this line. For those who I haven't said a shout out to, I want to say I got love for you too. And all those who disagree with me, I got love for you too. You know what I mean? Hey, you know, love is the answer, right? So we're gonna get really far. All right, quickly a little bit of business. The test will be in the on Monday in the classroom, and you'll have a week and a half to take it. Okay, so and then all you got to do is submit your test into, you know, read the classroom, submit your test in there, and then, you know, you can pick up those genealogy certificates. By law, I'm not going to create any fraud on anybody, neither myself, because I'm not crazy. So this is a verification that you actually went through a vetting process according to Act 3, where all must study, and then we're taught according to Act 6, where we teach nationality and divine creed. Therefore, you have something validating that you actually went and did that. And those will go directly to the State Department, right? Like we showed you before, to the Citizenship and Nationality Department. Okay. So I love each and every one of y'all. I can go a little bit deeper. I did bring a lot more. I didn't say everything I wanted to say. Give me 1 second while I look at a note here. All right. Where are my notes? Oh, my notey notes. Oh, here we go. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, so we have a sultanate right now in Mecca with the Saud family, the royal family, that's tied into the Americas. How? Through the oil. Now, the first person to go into business with the Saud family was a kind of a Standard Oil, or I forget their name. They were Amoco or something, Arabian Oil, something like that, right? But they were actually Standard Oil. Now, this is the Rothschilds now. Now, the story goes like this. There was a brother named Aaron Payne Bay in the Moorish Science Temple of America, who was the prophet's lawyer at that time, right? And he had a charter and everything like that. You know, he had a temple, I believe. Not 100% sure on that, but the story is that he was approached after Emilia was poisoned. He was approached by one of the Rothschild families and asked for a charter so they can start the Standard Oil. And he went ahead and gave him that for a promise that his family would always be in the political game and not left out of all that stuff in Chicago. So his birthrights wasn't cheap, right? Crazy. But anyway, all things happen for a reason. So for it all could have been set up that way for all we know. Right? Prophet Jewali was a straight genius. He thought he had to plan things 100 to 150 years in the future. We are still catching up to the prophet. All right. So Standard Oil then hooks up with them, and they become, you know, this huge multi-billionaire style people. And then we get old Rothschild and Rockefeller, and I got a picture of Rothschild in a fez, you know, and it's not doesn't have no Shriner tied down thing, you know. So just a little urban myth there being broke, because we have to see who the Prophet Noble Drew Ali was and what he set up for us. Because, you know, a lot of things had to be prepared for our generation right now. Okay, because we are the third and fourth generations to come through. And it said that we would fulfill the law. And this is why it's so much attack and stuff, because a few of us have done things. And you who are going through will find where your stuff's at, and things will begin to happen. You may be up under some forms of certain, I don't want to say surveillance, I don't want to spook anybody, you know what I'm saying? But you may be feeling like certain things are going on. Well, they could be, but as soon as you finish, it all stops. Okay? Don't do it. I don't know. I don't know what happens to people that don't do it, because I did it. You know what I mean? But there were some people I felt that, you know, helicopters following her, bruh, and I ain't no paranoid dude. You know what I mean? I mean, right before I did, I was like, you know, what's going on? So I hope that's not happening to you guys. Maybe I was just paranoid or something. But honestly, it gets so much better, and so much things open up for you when you do go through, because you actually went through the struggle to do what the prophet said, and now you have the experience and you have the actual results, which means that you could help the next person. Okay. And the best thing we can do in this day and our time and day and time is lay the fruits at our brother's foot, at our brother's table, is really to reach out our hand and help our brother in a time of need. There's no more that you can do right now. You're not going to outdo the Saud family in the wealth that we have. You know what I'm saying? You might as well just chill out and do what you're supposed to do and be the ones you're supposed to and gain your birthright. All right. Let's really think about this and where we're going right now. I mean, if you could see America existing as it exists for the next 20 years, and woo, you got some real good sight to see. You know, I see major changes happening, you know, every single day. And the more and more you wake up, the more and more we get back to doing and being the people who we have to be under our birthright. We have an empire to run, but first we must run our family. And that means we must run the individuals in the family, which means to run ourselves correctly. And how we do that is by picking up the tools that the prophet said and letting go of all the Negro things in our life. It's the hardest thing that you'll ever do. But if you can just attempt to do these particular things, you'll start to see that life will get so much better and so much more assured in your purpose, and you won't be afraid, and you won't be thinking that things are not going to turn out. They'll turn out exactly the way you want them to turn out, right? So if, you know, once again, thank you for listening to me on this holy day. Happy holy day. And listening to this Holy Day lecture. Okay. And if you can make it to a temple out there, do your best. If you don't agree with it, then do not lie to yourself nor anybody else. All right. So praise Allah, honor to the Holy Prophet Noble Drew Ali. We'll read our Constitution and bylaws, okay, because it is a holy day. All right. So please bear with me. And if there's any questions, post those questions in the chat, and we're gonna come back and tackle those questions for another few minutes. It's only like an hour and 25 minutes. Y'all know I can go on for a minute, but we'll only do like another, say, 5-10 minutes. Okay. So please listen up. Salvation, Allah, unity. The Moorish Science Temple of America, the Divine Constitution and Bylaws. Act 1. The Grand Sheikh and the Chairman of the Moorish Science Temple of America is empowered to make law and enforce laws with the assistance of the Prophet and the Grand Body of the Moorish Science Temple of America. The Assistant Grand Sheikh is to assist the Grand Sheikh in all affairs if he lives according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And it is known before the members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Act 2. All meetings are to be open and closed promptly according to the Circle 7 in love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Friday is our holy day of rest because on a Friday, the first man was formed in flesh, and on a Friday, the first man departed out of flesh and ascended unto his Father God Allah. For that cause, Friday is a holy day for all Muslims all over the world. Act 3. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice must be proclaimed and practiced by all members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. No members to put in danger or accuse falsely his brother or sister on any occasion at all that may harm his brother or sister because Allah is love. Act 4. All members must preserve these holy and divine laws, and all members must obey the laws of the government because by being a Moorish American, you are part and parcel of the government and must live the life accordingly. Act 5. This organization of the Moorish Science Temple of America is not to cause any confusion or to overthrow the laws of the Constitution of the said government, but to obey hereby. Act 6. With us, all members must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and divine creed, that they may know that they are part and parcel of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, Black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the times of slavery. But this is a new era in time now, and all men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained Noble Drew Ali, the prophet, to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites who inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All members must promptly attend their meetings and become a part and parcel of all uplifting acts of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Members must pay their dues and keep in line with all necessities of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Then you are entitled to the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be industrious and become a part of the uplifting upon humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and their minds pure with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant from their holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, through the guidance of his father, God Allah. Noble Drew Ali, the founder of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Home also Noble Drew Ali, Chicago, Illinois, USA. Islamism. Okay, so quickly, if there are any questions, there are. Looks like there's maybe about 5. Here at Hart said classroom instructions. Okay, I'll put some instructions how to get to that classroom up. Islam, Rashida Braxton Bay said Islam, Sister Rashida Braxton Bay. Islam, Brother Mustafa Braxton Bay. The Braxton Bay family's here, y'all. I didn't see y'all earlier. My bad. Okay. I am not trying to leave y'all out. You know what I mean? That's the family right there. You know, I can't wait for them to give you a good announcement on some of the great accomplishments that they've done. Okay. It's Islamism like to the fullest. Allah is the greatest. I'm telling you guys, it's all working, and it's going to get better and better and better. All right. So please do your research. Saw family, this is your part of your folks. They're here to protect, you know what I'm saying, your birthright until you wake up. All right. And they got mad loot. And, you know, we're going to go over there to ask. You know, we ain't afraid to ask for some of that loot. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need some schools. Right. But anyway, there's other means for us to get schools too, though. All right. So praise Allah. Put some questions in there. Islam, praise due to Allah. Islam, Mustafa. That's right, Mo. Mustafa. Praise Allah. Who else is out there? Mr. A. Hood Bay, Islam, Mo. Praise Allah, Mo. How you feeling, man? You know what I'm saying? Y'all give me a ring sometime. Tell me where everybody's at in that process. It says you must proclaim your nationality in front of the governments in which you live. Don't let them tell you this is just religion and you don't have to do that. Okay? Go on down to the court. Don't be scared, right? And call me and fill out the proper paperwork. And just like the sisters did today, hit me up. I'm always there for more, you know, and get that done and get your court date so that we can move on for the rest of the stuff. Okay? Seriously. So anyway, next week we will be tackling nationality. This is my most favorite part. I mean, diving deep to show you and connecting all the dots for your holy nation state. Okay? So that you can know that you are saved, that we are saved. We are now in the process of becoming examples, you guys. Examples of this, not just speaking about it, but examples. Okay? And these examples will take shape and form here in a minute of the example of the banker, the example of the full landowner, the example of, you know, the full industry of our agriculture. You know what I mean? Things like that, right? So that we can stop being a beggar nation. We don't have to beg anymore, right? We are who we really are. It really works. And we just need to really tune in. Stop, you know, learn to love and don't hate, and just study and just common sense it. You know, common sense stuff, right? Okay, so I don't really have anything else other than I love each and every one of y'all, and I wish you much success. And you're gonna pass those tests. And it's an open book, so you don't pass it, you don't qualify for the genealogy report. I'm not gonna put my name on it. Now you may find you a forger, you know, and get your forgery on and see how far that gets you. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, law governs all events. Sooner or later, that's all going to catch you. You know what I'm saying? So what else could we look at a little bit here? That's all. I mean, we really went deep. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on, y'all. This is Muhammad the Conqueror. This is why I was thinking that somebody did the typo, because, you know what I'm saying, this brother is Muhammad the Conqueror. This is the one the prophet said when he went up into there and conquered the Byzantine Empire. Has anybody ever seen this dude? All right, look at him with the fez on. Let me show you him again, okay? Let me blow this up. I might have to download this picture. I'm downloading this picture. You can attribute the author. I don't want to attribute no author. Just give me the picture, yo. All right, see how they be doing stuff? Just be putting extras now. All right, my bad, y'all. I want to blow it up a little bit. See this in full screen. All right, so you got Muhammad the Conqueror here, who cut the head off of Satan in Byzantine time, 14. What was it, everybody? 14, 14, 14, 1453, Byzantine time. 1453. I was right. Okay, so it says right here, was Satan to be bound in? Satan was to be bound in part. When was the head of Satan taken off? 1453 Byzantine. By whom? By Muhammad. And I'm going to have to say Muhammad the Conqueror on this one. And that's just me. Don't be, that's, tell them to blame it on me. Jones Bay said that. I didn't tell you to go out and say it. Now look at this, though, for real. Let's look at this. Bruh got the fez on under there. Do you see it? See that fez right there, everybody? See that big old, that's called the Bobo turban. This is called a Bobo turban. The only other brother that wore this like this, and sultans wear this, right, was Emily Ill. Emily Ill wore the Bobo turban. I have a picture of it and I will show it to you guys. Just remind me. Okay. So yes, that's old. That's Muhammad the Conqueror right there. Okay. So this Treaty of Tripoli was very interesting. Look at this. You guys got to really understand we can use this treaty today. Okay. Not only can we justify it because it's in our Quran, right? And it has the last name of the last Bey, which means, noble prince, priest king, a Bey. And, I'm a Bey, so that's my bloodline right there. And these were the ones who controlled Tripoli, right? In 1779. Now, Pete Gang, 1779. What happened a few years previous to this? Does anybody know? Does anybody know? Does anybody know? Go to your Quran. You should know that. You should know. Go to your Quran. And it says in chapter 47 on verse number 17, the nationality of the Moors was taken away from them in 1774. Now, hold on. Maybe I'm getting my stuff confused here. Oh, 1796. Look at that. Wow. You know what? I have to really go look at that. Because there was a 1774 and 17. Where was the other one? So there, when were we put into slavery, y'all? What was that? What year were the Moors put into slavery? 1779. Okay. So I was looking at it a little bit wrong, but okay. So the Moors were put into slavery in 1779, but they signed a peace and friendship treaty, Moors, in 1796. I'm gonna do some research on that for y'all. All right. Anyway, so how's everybody out there? Everybody good? Everybody good? You know what I mean? Any questions on anything? Anybody got any questions? I see there's 12 of us out there. Praise Allah for the 12, right? It's a very good number. It adds to 3. Smash and like and subscribe. If you thought that was a good show, smash some likes out there, y'all. Don't be a hater. Be a congratulator now. You know what I mean? If you didn't like it, well, don't hit not one like. All right. But what more could I bring you on the Sultan? You know what I'm saying? I will go a little bit more deeper on why the prophet is a caliphate, or which we call Emili would be known as the last Khalifa, right? Because Emili was set in place by the prophet, which is a supreme grand sheikh. Listen to the terms: supreme grand sheikh, grand sheikh. Now, right now, there's sheiks out there all around the world, but the prophet gave you something else. He said a supreme grand sheikh and a grand sheikh, grand governors, supreme grand sheikhs, right? Grand sheikhs. See how know what a prophet was too? He's like, man, sisters can take position. All that, Moors don't have no equality or appreciation for womanhood. That's a bunch of crap. And one thing that we have to remember, if we're the founders of the first religious creed of Islam and the founders of Mecca, then why are we out here following, everyone else's get down? Following their way when you were the founders. Why are you following their way? And then get mad, what I'm saying? This is the part right here. And it's nothing wrong with having a respect for our brothers and sisters, right? But you need a respect for what your forefathers brought. You, the founder. You're the founder of Mecca. You're the founder of Islam, which is the first religious creed known to mankind on the planet, which is peace and harmony with man, God, and nature and one's surroundings. That's it. Anything else is a cultural thing, traditions of man that they've put on under their own vine and fig tree. So dude over here talking about my woman got to wear something, and the only thing she can see is this, and everything else got to be covered in black, and it's 98 degrees out here, and she's sweating. I'm gonna say he a fool. Prophet didn't bring that. Now she want to put a veil on. You know what I'm saying? That's cool. Bruh want to wear a little veil. All right, ain't nobody stopping you. I ain't trying to say go look like Antifa. I ain't trying to say, go look like you finna, drop a bomb on the World Trade Center. you know, but for real though, I used to wear mine like that. I used to pull back the turban, right? I ain't gonna do it to you. And then it was long enough where I used to have it covered like the whole shot. I did that one day, walked around like that, scared people to death. I said, I'm not gonna do that anymore. I ain't trying to bring nobody into fear, but it was just fun. But then again, I shouldn't have to compromise my culture because of someone else's fear. What do you think? Should I compromise my culture because somebody's scary? Because when I come creeping on, creeping, not creeping, but just walking down the street like this, they get nervous. They get real nervous, y'all. They get so nervous. But anyway, we don't want to put no more fright on them. We got them frightened enough. They like, oh my God, they know that they bow and L. You know what I'm saying? They know that they're back. They know who they are. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? You're going to do exactly what you've been doing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't know what you're going to do. Holy war, prophet said. He said it's going to be a breakfast fight. Right? I ain't trying to war with nobody, though. Prophet said when we get on top, treat people nice. You know what I mean? For real, man. All this war and all this chaos and crazy stuff, we're going to protect our family. We're going to protect our rights. We're going to protect our women, our children, our resources, which is our women, our children, and our prophet and temple, of course, with our very life, if need be. We will protect those things. But, we're not out here looking for war. We are actually the peace bringers of the planet. If you look at the way the prophet is setting everything up, he's setting it up where you're going to bring peace literally on the planet and have the resources to do it. Northwest of Maxim, the North Gate is yours. Okay? The land of the ancient gods, where the gods dwell. The land of milk and honey, where everybody wanted to come to, and they did. Everybody came here under the melting pot and got a little bit, right? Even in our most deplorable, depleted state of being a dead God or a Negro, right? We seem to give culture to the planet. But see, the culture we gave was a lower self culture. Now it's time for the higher self, right? The European psychology is a lower self culture. Sorry. When you have the European psychology, you have a lower self culture, brothers and sisters. It's great for a European. I mean, by nature, hey, that's what bruh does. Okay? But for you, you need to wake up and knock it off. Okay? Get back under your vine fig tree. You know what I'm saying? We speak Moroccan. Okay, so we don't speak Ebonics. So if you happen to hear me say an ain't or a little slang, that's called Moroccan, man. All right? And anybody tells me it's different, that's called deflammatory discrimination. You know what I'm saying? Against a Moorish American. See, we need to take possession and start protecting our stuff. All right? I'm rattling on, y'all. Okay, so it's 1:43. I think that's good. And thank you for all those who hit the subscribe and all those who hit the like. Thanks, everybody, once again, for allowing me to give a lecture. Okay, and for you showing up. And I hope I said something that inspires you to keep on the path and to dig deep and study the prophet Noble Ali, for he has come, he saved us, he's done everything. And all we need to do is open our eyes, stop wishing on a star, and go wish to get your birthright and do something about it. Because, bruh, it's real good on this side. Islamism, I love each and every one of y'all. Okay, if there aren't any questions, we're going to close this one out. Okay? No? All right. Oh, I did say something. I'm going to speak on some, we're going to revisit the apparatus. The prophet said he's got apparatuses, he's got inclines, He's going to take some few good Moors up so they can see the destruction going down. We're going to talk about all this stuff that they don't like to talk about. So you heard it here first on Brother C Bay's channel, the Saud family breakdown, and that's just this much of it. We got a whole lot more, right? But I need to drop the seed so that we can start somewhere, because they're not telling you and they're not breaking it down because they don't know, or they just hiding it, which is folly. I don't know why they're hiding it, right? So anyway, there you go. I hope I made some sense here. And once again, I'm going to go over here and bump a little music for you. Try to find something groovy. Actually, you know what, y'all? I'm going to have to end this one. My stomach just said grubble, grubble. Man, my stomach just said blue, blue. I'm like on this little fast type of thing. I'm trying to do like a little fast. Don't eat nothing during the daytime. You know what I mean? Do a little water. Just do my little water thing. And then I'm going to go straight for the 7-day water shot. I'm going to try to do the 7-day water shot like Jesus. I don't know if I'm going to make it. And if I survive, I hope to survive, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a big guy. I like to eat. But anyway, I'm doing a little fast right now. So wish me well. And it is that time, though. It's like way past time for me to eat something. Like 9:12 right now. Okay? So I love each and every one of you guys. Let's close out. And silent benediction, please raise your wings up high. Uh-oh. Please raise your wings up. And please sit or stand in silent benediction while I close this out. Allah, bind our heart and mind back to our ancient forefathers' divine creed and principles. This we ask in thy holy name in the seventh Elohim. Ameen. Praise Allah. All right. So, you know what I'm saying? A little bit of the Ali as the Caliphate, Sultan and his big old balling family over there with our boats and stuff. You know what I'm saying? We were finna go, demand ours. So they need to watch out because the Moors is back. All right, so once again, I'm going to really kind of end this chat right here. Probably do no music. If I have my guitar, I play you a little tune or something. I'm pretty good. Anybody out there want to start a band after we finish everything up? Maybe when I'm like, 59, we'll do us a band called the OGs. You know what I mean? All right, so praise Allah. Everybody have a really good one, and I'm going to leave a little love in this chat. Please leave me a little love. All right, everybody. Peace and love. I'm going to end it right here, okay? Hey, some of y'all call me up. Hit me up. Hit me up. Hit me up. Let me know what's good. Let me know. Hey, Brother Harster, if you still listening, Mo, do you have that picture of King Hussein's son when he was in Ohio? If you do, please, email that to me so we can show everybody, Mo, because that's bomb. But anyway, peace and love, everybody. I'm going to end this stream. So everybody put a 1 up there for me. Everybody hit them 1s. You know what I'm saying? Put them 1s up. Put them 1s up. Put them 1s up before we leave. Let's give a little honor. You know what I'm saying? Put them, thank you, Islam. Everybody put those 1s up. We know what this means. It means a solidarity that we up under the one God, one religion, you know what I'm saying? One prophet, right? One house of Ali, right? That's what that means, y'all. That 1 up. All right, everybody. Peace and love.